Reason number one, we never got to invest in Sterling.
Right? Hey everyone, welcome to our last Navajo Tea Time live. And in true original Navajo Tea Time fashion, the internet is being crappy. So hopefully we can do the live stream.
Yep. So that's how you know this is 100% authentic, streaming live from the Navajo Nation, where reliable internet service is a real challenge.
For sure, especially one that doesn't cost $200.
Or linked to an oligarch. Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Right?
Let's just be real here. I got some real hot tea tonight. Just kidding.
The last
Look at this cool mug. It's got 3 handles. Anyways,
That's confusing.
I digress.
So so yeah, we're after 7 years we've decided to end Navajo Tea Time.
Mm-hmm.
The internet, it keeps freezing on me and her. And I think
Great.
the thing keeps going in and out. Um so it's just horrible. We had a whole thing set up for going live and it just doesn't want to work now.
Well, let's do our best. Yeah, so this is really sad. I feel like on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being heartbroken, 10 being elated. Where are you at right now, Kelsey?
um Definitely somewhere in the grieving process.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I feel ya. It's really sad. We committed so many years to this. I feel like we had a lot of fun. We were able to be creative together. We were able to contribute to the narrative around, topics related specifically to the Navajo Nation, to this region, the people, the culture, community, lifestyle, all that. And it is kind of sad to put it down, but we have our reasons, and I feel like they're good, sound reasons. So maybe we should share a little bit about that, because I know there are people who asked specifically, why are we ending the YouTube channel? And so I think we should answer that first and just get into it.
Yeah, for sure. Most of it's just scheduling, I think, on both our ends. We've really tried to adjust the ways we've made episodes. And
Mm-hmm.
from me, at the beginning, us trying to meet each other every other episode, every other month, to trying to do completely virtual, which didn't feel fulfilling for us. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and then, you with your career, just so many things going on and having to keep pushing back recording episodes and making episodes is just nothing ever aligned.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After a while, even with like
Yeah.
this year, we're like, oh, we're just gonna get all our episodes together and then just batch record, and just have half a year's worth of episodes, but then it just never came together.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it sucks. I mean, I think we started out with a really good idea, because the original idea was to come together and have a tea party, like a literal tea party. And, we would set up a table with a beautiful tablecloth, tea sets. Kelsey would bake these delicious little treats. We would make tea and we would chat. And I love that idea. And we wanted to continue that. But, when we started out, we were much closer in proximity. Kelsey was in Cameron and I was living in Tuba City. So, very close together. And then I moved 3 hours away to Salee, and that became challenging, but we still did our best. Then the pandemic hit and we went completely virtual. And then I moved again to Phoenix, and I thought, well, maybe we could rent some co work spaces or even like legit podcast studios in the city. But again, there were scheduling
I
issues that we
never
could
go
not
to
get
the
around.
valley.
Yeah. And the valley is just, I mean, there's a lot of challenges related to that, especially like if that's not somewhere you go regularly. So we tried to meet up in Flag. We did one episode in Flagstaff, which was great. And we're like, maybe we can do that. But it's just finding the time. We both got really busy. Like I got really busy. Kelsey got busy with other things. She had projects and then FAF, and it just became a lot. And so we're like, okay, let's just do it virtually. And we were trying to play with different ways to deliver content. So we did vlogs, we did a series, we did live streams. We started integrating. We were trying to like balance filming together and then filming virtually. So it was like a bunch of different things that we tried out to see what would work, what would people like the most. And what I saw almost immediately was people really like us when we're together.
Hmm.
But that was the hardest thing for us to pull off. So, and I think we had more fun together too, because our energy actually like weaves to go fun. I love when our ride or dies jump on the live stream and ask us questions. You know who you are, Brady. I like when people like when we're out and about and they're like, "Hey, you're from Navajo Tea Time," and even our friends do that to us now. That happened at the Native Power Building Summit this past weekend when like one of our, I guess I would say like a colleague, a friend, um, she was like, "Oh my God, it's Adrienne and Kelsey from Navajo Tea Time," and we had to break the news to her that we're gonna end it. And she's like, "Oh, so."
Did we
But it's
break the
fun.
news to her?
I thought we told her. Or did we just kind of just like
We
smile
didn't
and
tell anyone.
we didn't tell her, huh? Oh shoot, never mind.
We didn't tell
I thought we
anyone
did.
until we didn't publicly announce it until yesterday was when we
Yeah.
made a
Okay,
public
maybe I told her.
statement.
Just kidding.
You could have told. I was telling people like my family, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna stop doing this because they like usually they ask like, oh, when are you filming this or when are you gonna go live next, and it's like, we're stopping.
I know. After we had
Because
this very mature, rational conversation, you and I literally like shut my laptop. I went in the living room where my husband was and I just collapsed on the couch and I was like devastated. I was like holding my head and looking up at the ceiling. Like, what's wrong? Like, what happened? Are you okay? And I told him and he was like, oh, he's like, dang, I thought it was something really, really bad. I'm like, it is really bad. Like, this sucks.
it
So I think
was
like, yeah.
it kind of feels like leaving a job, you know, like
Mhm. Mhm.
you had a job, we had a job, we were doing stuff. Um, on my end, it's like a lot of work, a lot of prep with the equipment and getting all the gear and everything together, and then afterwards doing all the editing and everything. But it felt
Mhm.
like, oh hey, we're gonna stop now, and it's like, and it just it was just this pressure off of my shoulders is how it felt. And we definitely, I think, after we came to the conclusion of like maybe we should just, we were trying so hard to just make everything work. you know there's our professional lives and our personal lives, and then Navajo Tea Time, trying to find some way to fit, and it was getting harder and harder to fit it in.
Mhm.
And so it's like it's just not working, and it's just something, it's not that it was bad, and we're definitely not leaving on bad terms. It's just we
No.
couldn't get it to work, and it's becoming a lot of stress on my end personally to having to keep rearranging my schedule. And so it it's just like, okay, you don't have to worry about this anymore. This is something you don't have to be thinking about constantly anymore.
Mhm.
And it's just sometimes these creative projects, they don't go on forever. And we were trying to make it something profitable, so for me I could keep doing it, because it's like, do I do this or
Mhm.
do I do a paid project? Do I do this or pursue a different creative avenue that could make revenue or income? And
Mhm.
7 years we've tried it. It was fun, a lot of experiences, and just learning things about YouTube and streaming.
Mhm. I was I was I was online earlier, and on Instagram this ad popped up for this new program that ASU is releasing. So they have a new influencer major, or like a course of study that you can take to become an influencer, and it's kind of funny. So I might sign up for that. Just kidding. I mean, the relief I'm gonna get is my kids will stop making fun of me. So
Oh,
they
your
can
kids
stop
are at the
bullying me.
age where they make fun of you now.
Yes, they do. Oh my God, you know what's crazy? I was just thinking about this. Our audience has seen you through 2 pregnancies.
Yeah, had two babies.
Mm-hmm. It's like really, I mean, like literally seen us like evolve over the past 7 years. You know? I mean, I was thinking back to it and I was like, dang, I was in a completely different place before. Like, I hadn't even like earned a degree yet when we first started. And in the course of Navajo tea time, I earned 2 degrees. So it's like kind of crazy, like just how far we've come in the past 7 years.
Hmm.
But yeah, mm,
That's probably like one of like the main thing is like we were in such a different place when we started it. We had
yeah.
we had the time and so many other options, and I don't know. It's just we were.
I think we put the work in. I think we should leave them where they're at, let people view them if they want. And who knows, maybe we'll finally get to 1 million views. That's what we need. We need like there's like these crazy metrics just to like get
Hmm.
to where we need to be to make this viable. And they the freaking YouTube keeps moving it. Like once we approach it, it's like they update it and they move the bar far again. And it's like, are you freaking kidding me? Like we met the subscription limit that we were aiming for, and then they moved the bar to like 1 million views for shorts. And we're like, are you
Hmm.
kidding us? So it's just annoying. And so yeah, but anyways, that's like I'm sure no one cares about that, but
Well, like
it's just
it's like the metric, the bar, it keeps moving, and that's why I said like it
hmm,
deserves full time people, not part time people.
yeah.
Um, I think some people didn't know we were gonna be ending the channel because Epic Candy. It's like the stream is so bad right now. We're at 20 minutes, but you guys are like 5 minutes into whatever we just said.
Oh
And
my God.
she's like crying emojis, sad emojis,
uh,
broken heart
I'm sorry.
emojis. um,
I feel you. My heart's broken too. Ew. I feel sad.
but if that's something we want to do and just like keep the door open, like if there's an important topic we want to talk about and address together, but we're just not going to be making these videos in, I don't know, with the consistency that we've been trying, with the goal of
Hmm.
becoming monetized. I think right now it
Yeah.
just needs to be, there's an important topic we should talk about, get together, do that, and the video will come up when it comes up, and it's not going to be like, oh, now we got to do the next one. It's going to be sparse and
Yeah.
sporadic if we do anything.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. Um, the other question is, will the merch still be available?
Um, that's also another thing. For the merch website, it's definitely under Happy Accidents. I'm thinking of maybe just leaving it up for the rest of the year. And then with
Mm-hmm.
almost all of the other designs, I want to be able to cycle them out, have new, fresh designs, not just a giant catalog of everything we've ever designed, because that gets cluttered. And, like in a store, you rotate the merchandise and things. But maybe when we do an episode now and then, it'll pop back up and then go away. Um,
Yeah.
with that site, the fourth wall site, it's really easy to just go, oh, just re-upload or hide the designs. It's just a little button.
I was gonna show my slippers, but I left them by the door. So I'm texting my husband, like, can you bring me my Navajo time slippers? Because they're really cute, I swear. They're really freaking cute.
They're cute, they're
Anyways.
comfortable. One thing is
Mm-hmm.
they're manufactured because it's a print on design, so like they get all this stuff gets manufactured at different places. The
Mm-hmm.
slippers I found out are manufactured in China, so it takes about 2 to 3 weeks to get here.
Mm.
So it takes a
But
while.
when they arrive, it is a party. It is, the unboxing is fun, the product is beautiful, and they're really comfy. And so just putting that out there. If you want to be cool. Okay, I think you got him.
While Adrian's doing the slippers right
Go
now,
get him.
Epic
Right by the
Candy,
front door.
for my home site, I'm just going to move my home site vlog onto my happy accidents and my personal Instagram. So my home, because I've like filmed almost so much for my home site already. Just the process of it being built is so slow. But I have all that footage, so I'm definitely going
Mm-hmm.
to still create the process of making my home site and any
Yay!
anything
Like,
anything
subscribe,
else.
A.
So on my personal Instagram and Happy Accidents, the shorts will be going there because I filmed everything in shorts format so that it would be the shorts, but it's just
Nice.
yeah.
That's cool. No, I mean, so I was actually asking Kelsey this just before we went live. Like, would you get mad if I started my own channel? And she's like, no. But, um, and I'm not saying I'm going to. It's just, like we said, one of the major challenges that we had was collaboration, coming together and making our schedules work together. But like, we still love like what we do. We love making content. And let me see, bring them over here, both of them. I'm gonna show you the slippers real quick. They're super cute. Look at that. Aren't they so beautiful? I love them. And they're so freaking squishy and they got like arch support. So, yeah, I love them. So, anyways, um, yeah, so like I was thinking, and this is not like for sure, but so I do have 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 topics that we've already chosen. And I don't know if you want me to like list them off or I can announce them later, but like one of them is good leadership in Indian country. What does that look like, right? Indigenous knowledge in terms of access and how it's hierarchical. The intersection between music and activism, like hell yeah. We have all these really great topics that like we've already thought about and want to talk about because I think they're fun. Like, what is Indigenous environmental feminism? Like, dude, like that, like those are things that I love to talk about. So, anyways, or entrepreneurship as a mechanism for sovereignty. These are the topics, and so yeah, like punk, metal, and gangster rap through an indigenous lens. Like there's a whole freaking list of stuff that I've already like been thinking about. And yeah, so anyways, just a thought. We'll see. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to do vlogs. I don't know if I'm just going to be like a yapper, but I don't want it to be boring. I want to like use some of the lessons that I learned from Kelsey. And she's always done such an amazing job of keeping things visually interesting. I don't have her skill set though, so I might be kind of ghetto. But yeah, so yeah, keep a lookout, I guess. We'll see. It's not going to be anytime soon. I actually have a commitment. I got a political appointment and doesn't end until January, so I have to be a little neutral, which is another reason why I was kind of like really like couldn't commit a lot of time for the next few months, and that's kind of what started this conversation. Or basically when Kelsey threw up her hands and was like, you know what? I'm just kidding. Damn it, Adrian.
Well, like, it was kind of like that, but it was just like we're rescheduling again and again
Yeah. No,
and
I'm
again.
exaggerating. Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah,
So,
so
but yeah.
I don't
So
want
that
you to
answers the
have to
question.
like stop whatever work you're doing because you're doing an
Yeah.
amazing work. And so we were at the Native Power Building Summit last week.
Mhm.
And for me being there, this is going to sound bad. Like, I'm like, I don't feel bad for the lack of activism I do because of all the people that were there and they were so passionate and so involved in like the politics and policies and all of that stuff. And that's not me, and that's completely
Mhm.
Adrian. That's completely you. And so you going being in the politics, in the policy making, and talking to actual leaders out there trying to create change.
Oh
I
my
don't
god,
want
I
to.
know. I was like introducing Kelsey to people. She's like, "Who is that?" And I had to like Google them. Like, this is who they are.
And it's so nice knowing there's people out there
Yeah.
who are just as passionate, because that's not my passion. That's not me. After going there, I'm like, I feel so much better about myself because there's these other people doing the work. Like when you see a forest on fire, you're like, I should do that. I'm like, no, I'm not a firefighter. I'm not trained.
Mhm.
It's not my job. So
Mhm.
seeing other people who've taken that on as their job and their responsibility just makes me feel better and gives me the freedom to pursue more creative careers, because after a while it felt like I have to be here talking about these really deep, heavy issues when they're important, they're interesting to hear you talk about, but it's not my interest, it's not my passion, and what I want to create into the
Yeah.
world.
And I think like our viewers could probably see that because I would be on my soapbox, and then when it's time to like get off the soapbox, you're like, yeah, and I'm like,
What she said. I
that's
have
what, yeah, like,
no wheelhouse. I have no idea what you're talking about. We can talk about the cinematic value of this video, or like if we both watch the same
yeah,
movie, you'd be like,
or
"Oh,
you'd
these
be
are the
like, I
politics,"
don't know.
and I'd be like, "Oh, I like this camera movement," and that's.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. We're in completely different lanes, and I think that's okay.
Mhm.
You know, to have this appreciation for each other's talents, that's never been lost between us. You know, I like have so much respect for Kelsey and everything she does. And even though she doesn't boast about what she does or how she contributes, she really does, like on the freaking ground. And I was able to kind of flex that at the Native Power Building Summit with people that were at the table with. And she's like getting all embarrassed, like, I was not prepared to talk about this side of my life. And I'm like, dude, you're doing the work. You're out there. Like, you're a total badass. And it was really funny because like Kelsey's so uncomfortable being like having the spotlight on her and then have someone speaking about her like that. But I'm like, I'm not lying, you know, it's the truth. So yeah. You're
Thank
like
you,
uncomfortable.
Adrian. Thank you for all the compliments.
You're all awkward.
It's definitely something I need to work on, being able to take a compliment, but
You just get all shifty. It's funny. I love it. I think it's so funny. Like, let me make Kelsey uncomfortable today. Um, But yeah, we did get a couple of comments though, beyond what Kelsey read. So shout out to Sheshton at Echo Retreat, who are amazing, an amazing company based out of Page, Arizona area. They have a glamping Airbnb, which I think everybody should check out. So many cool that like allows you to see the stars, like super stunning experience, super authentic. The owners are Bea and Paul Mihan. We love them. They gave us our first like
What
almost like a
is
brand, like a, how would you
it
frame,
wasn't
like,
a sponsorship, but it was like they gave us material to review and
so
showcase. I don't even
yes,
know the
like they
term.
got this, they got this really great, like it was like a brand deal with, was it Macy's?
It was
And they
Macy's.
had these, yeah, they had these this beautiful collection of home, um like bedding and towels and really well made, beautifully designed um soft goods that they were using, like they were using those like at their Airbnb, but they also made them available to the general public, and they sent us a huge box of, of merchandise to review, and it was freaking cool. It was like the first time we were able to do like a merch haul, you know what I mean, and like share. And I still wear the robe. I have the robe. I have like that big long pillow I got over here on my bed, and
Yeah,
yeah, I
same.
love everything they sent. Yeah, really good quality, awesome.
I think we divvied it up, right? Like you got
Yeah.
the shawl thing to like stargaze at night,
Ah,
and I
yes,
got
I
the
love it.
towels, the bedding set, and also a kimono robe,
Mm-hmm.
which you can see us wearing or me wearing that in the Aseki and the Northern Arizona Glam Squad video that we did a couple years
Oh
ago.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Oh,
so I'm
speaking of
wearing that
Northern
robe.
Arizona Glam Squad, we got a comment from, I'm pretty sure this is Christine, but she posted some questions. But another great supporter, we went to Northern Arizona Glam Squad in Flagstaff, Arizona, and we pulled together a group of entrepreneurs, native entrepreneurs, and we had a panel discussion about what their experience has been starting companies and having these thriving businesses in, this like tribal economy with tribal people, having this like urban native res identity and some of the challenges that come with it. And it was a really great topic of conversation. We also did a little vlog of like us getting dolled up and getting our hair and makeup done, which was really fun. So, we've done some really cool things and had some really great collaborations with amazing people. And Christine's definitely one of them. She asked a question, or a few questions. Okay, she wrote, "Do you think broadband can help Native women make an income from home? If so, do you know if any Native creator business systems or programs you would recommend to the Indigenous community?" So, really great question. Kelsey, did you do you have any thoughts, ideas? Because I mentioned one kind of, but I haven't actually gone through the program. I was just kind of joking about it. It was just an announcement the ASC made, but
So I was thinking about this question when I first read it, and broadband, I think, can be helpful, but it's very limited. Like I'm using broadband right now and to upload the stream, and you can tell like the beginning of this stream so choppy, so bad. Um and it definitely like broadband, like I speak of broadband or like even like my brain mental space as broadband because it can get depleted so fast and you have to wait for it to come back together. So the more people using a broadband network, the less reliable it is. And that's why we have Starlink. Um, I think the fastest, most reliable, even if like it'd be cheaper, it would be cheaper in the beginning because it's going to be a lot of infrastructure. But I think like even cable or fiber optics is would be the best, you know, for
mm-hmm.
internet for all like for men and women. to be able to work from home,
Mhm.
especially during the monsoon season. Right now, it's like I'll have signal, then I won't have signal. I'll have signal, then I
Mhm.
won't have signal. And that's just because a cloud rolled by or lightning struck a tower or, the wind got a little bit too crazy that night and we had no internet. So broadband's helpful, but it's very limited in what we can
Yeah.
do and how much we can upload for work.
Yeah, and that's like the number one reason why we wanted to monetize the channel, because we wanted to be able to invest in a Starlink system that we could have, like Kelsey could have that with her, so the streams would be clear, the uploads would be quicker, and we wouldn't have these like choppy live sessions whenever the wind blowed. You know what I mean? Like it really, like every little thing, every little environmental factor would affect the performance of the internet. And so we wanted to invest in one of these systems that we know would be reliable and helpful, but like we couldn't get the channel monetized, therefore we did not have the additional funding to invest in something like that. So that kind of sucks, but we weren't ready either to kind of like take out a loan or something like that. You know what I mean? Like we had conversations about various ways to secure funding, but Navajo Tea Time isn't itself an entity. So some challenges there. We did put in a couple times, right? Like we did submit a few proposals to become a part of like to get the support we needed, funding and training and like technical support also, and guidance, but we were not selected. So we made it a couple rounds, but it never got to the point where it was like, we choose you, we're going to invest in you. So that kind of sucks. But like I did a quick Google search just to kind of see if there's anything that I'm not aware of. Funny thing, so NABIN, the Native American Business Incubator Network, popped up, which is kind of funny. um, I'm a co-founder for NABIN, and NABIN was rebranded as Change Labs in 2019. So Change Labs also popped up. The National Center for American Indian Enterprise Development popped up. This is mostly for business training, financial assistance, federal programs for advocacy, etc. Um, American Indian Policy Institute apparently collaborates with a group called Inno Nations, and I think they help with like they house hybrid maker spaces, digital co-working environments, and creator hubs. Um, and DigiHub is also one others that I know of that Blue Atoms had launched and had been doing some work around that, kind of creating um, spaces and I guess support to kind of do this kind of work. But to tell you the truth, I don't know of any native creator business systems or programs that focus primarily on this, like on becoming like a content creator.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's something we'll take on, maybe that's something we'll talk about, maybe that's something maybe that's a need. There are some great people, there are some people that really great content creators that have done some amazing things with their content, and they've gone viral and they're big right now. But I've seen them kind of get big and then they move on to the next thing. So
That's
we never got that big.
that was one thing I met the director of the Navajo Film and TV office.
Hmm.
Um, and I was talking to him about that, about like, YouTube creators and maybe there being something of like, because on YouTube there are some like program directors, managers who manage different content creators, and the people they just use their personality. It's sort of like TV, like
Hmm.
broadcast
Good
TV,
TV
where
production. Yeah.
yeah, where like NBC has these talk shows that they produce
Hmm.
and help manage and get out there. So there's something like that on YouTube, which I was trying to explore with Happy Accidents, and that was what Adrian was talking about, like us trying to do a pitch contest of using Navajo Tea Time as the guinea pig of creating something creating that system or creating that like that program. Um, but like she said, we weren't selected to receive the funding or to do the pitch. Um, and so it's like, well, if we don't have that funding to help us move forward, we really can't move forward with that at the moment. But it was definitely something I was talking to with the Navajo TV and Film Office director, because I met up with him during one of the Change Labs events when they were launching the Diné dictionary app
Oh
by one
yeah.
of their
Hmm.
incubator members.
Oh yeah. Hmm.
So
Haskell, right?
I think so, yeah. So he was there, and they were live streaming it on KTNN and on their YouTube
Mm-hmm.
channel for the Navajo TV Film Office. So it's something I think people are looking more into, but I don't know of any official organization um, that does that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, but there's definitely different types of income you can make online. You're just gonna need something more than broadband, like we said, like Starlink. Um, something we were looking into
Mm-hmm.
half-heartedly because they don't want to support someone like Star who owns Starlink.
And this, it was before, yeah, it was before he made that turn and kind of took over, like, or launched Doge and, did all that thing. This is before all that happened when we were considering Starlink. And, changes in the political landscape have really also affected what we talk about, how we talk about it. And like for me in the work I do, I've had to be so careful. And it pisses me off. You know what I mean? Because I want to say more, but it's like I almost have to censor myself just to continue to secure my employment so I can feed my family. And it sucks to be in that position. So to kind of take that pressure off, Kelsey is really doing me a service by saying, you know what, like, do what you got to do. You got to feed your family, And I'm doing the same thing in a sense. So it's like, I know that this time could be used for you to take contracts for happy accidents and do work that's going to pay you well. And so, and that's to feed her family, So this is kind of, even though it's sad to end this, it's almost like we have enough respect for each other and our families to do this for, to make this hard choice so that it'll benefit them in other ways. Like they're the beneficiaries in yeah, in another way. But yeah, so, um,
There's some
okay. What? Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say there's some additional comments or questions just because we didn't get a lot on the social
Yeah.
medias. So I was just asking my husband like what like if you could talk to one of your streamers and they were ending, what questions would you ask? So these were
Uh,
just some of the questions that he came up with at the end. And it's like,
okay.
so were there any topics that you wish you could have done before ending the show?
You want me to answer?
Yeah, you can answer first. Oh no.
I wish we could have covered the election, the Navajo Nation election. I really, really was excited about it. I still am, but I'm like, you know what I mean? Like I would have loved to talk about the candidates. I would have loved to have been able to bring on some of the candidates like we had talked about and interview them and ask them about their platforms. I would love to be able to like watch the forums and comment on it. You know what I mean? Like I wish we could have done that. That would have been cool. What about you?
I feel like my part, the thing I was struggling with is like I've talked about a lot of the things I wanted to talk about, like home site lease, like land
Mhm.
grazing permittees, just the struggle with all of that. And,
Mhm.
you know, I really love diving deep into like the paranormal and the
Yeah.
spiritual, almost mythological stuff of Diné history and like the surrounding tribes. So maybe on my other channel, my business, I can do more there. It just felt like sometimes
Mhm.
we couldn't talk about topics because trying to remain respectful and aware of what traditional people or people with those leanings don't want to hear about or like dive deep into. Something I really wanted to do, but at some point I felt restricted. Like we couldn't dive deeper into more scarier stories or into different topics. Just like
Yeah,
you had
I
to hold
understand
your
that.
tongue politically, I had to hold my tongue with my curiosity with some of those topics.
Oh yeah. But like once the camera is off, oh my goodness. So if you do go to her channel, check it out because, if those confines aren't like she's not being restricted in the question she's asking and things she's talking about and curious about, it's going to be like really good and interesting because we have some of our best conversations, honestly, after the camera goes off. Um,
That's kind of the
I
sad
wish
part though, you
I
know?
know it is. I know it is because I don't hold back. Like I said, like I use names. I use I'll be giving her the whole history of all this stuff. Like you would not believe, it's just crazy. But one thing I wish we could have done again is I really liked when we did that movie review of Prey with
Mm.
Mona. And I would have loved to do that again because that was super fun.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
also like, but I think sometimes with like you end up being pigeonholed, especially on YouTube or like any of the platforms where you have to talk about this one topic because they're gonna promote this topic the
Mhm.
most on their algorithm, and if you change it up in
Mhm.
any way, the computer freaks out and it's like, "What are you doing? This isn't what you do." And
Yeah, and I think that's what happened because like we did everything. We tried so many different things, and I feel like that kind of speaks true to who we are as Dene people in contemporary times. You know what I mean? Like there's a diverse there's so much diversity in what we're interested in, what we're engaged in, what topics we want to talk about, like whether it's talking about makeup or scary stories, or we're talking about something super deep and rich like culture and language and tradition, or something super like controversial like politics. You know what I mean? Like we really went all over the place. I mean, I think our heaviest subjects were like the missing and murdered Dinar relatives, missing and murdered women and girls issue. Like, dude, that was hard to do. Like the research was intense. The delivery, I think we did our best to deliver it in a way where we didn't like fall apart and cry, but it was freaking tough sometimes. Like these cases are really intense. And you want to be respectful of the family of the person this happened to, and then you also don't want to, like, I was really like tried to be careful about not propping up the perpetrator. You know what I mean? By like giving them all the attention. I wanted to try to give more attention to the person and what their life was. But then like even that opens a lot of doors. And so we just had to be so careful, and it was really hard. But we were all over the place, honestly. Like we talked about so many different things. We weren't just like doing one thing either. We were doing all these different formats, all these different topics, and we didn't just stick to one thing or one format. Like our backgrounds were changing, like you know what I mean? Like it just our locations were changing. We're all over the place.
well, that
So
was like one of the points. Like I think originally we wanted to be like in different places. Remember, like the first episode, we
hmm
had that tent, or like it'd be cool to do this, like,
yeah.
and show the background, show the
Yeah.
nation, have different. We wanted to have so many guests. We wanted like medical experts,
hmm
people working at IHS, people working in the school systems
hmm
to help give more nuance to like these different topics and some like lived experiences of like I work in the school system and sometimes the school system is this way, or like I work in
Yeah.
IHS and sometimes the paperwork and the red tape and all of that. And
hmm
it was the idea of the show was so nice, but we we came to a point where we couldn't keep it up.
Yeah. The execution was hard, especially like when we wanted to. I remember we were talking about doing this res tour where we're like going to all different parts of the res and filming there, and we were so excited to do it. But then like our nation is freaking huge, and to travel was a big lift, honestly, and it just wasn't viable at the time. And so yeah, I mean, we definitely had a lot of good ideas, we just weren't able to execute them, unfortunately. So but yeah, so anyways, the next question that Gernan asked, What was it?
What was your favorite video or topic to make?
Oh, favorite video. Let's see, all-time favorite. I I think like let me see. I know, I'm like really thinking hard.
I
What's
really
yours?
enjoyed like the scary story. The scary story ones were fun to make. Like we all had our
Mm-hmm.
scary stories we brought together and talked about. Those ones were fun to make. Um, I really liked the one we did with the Native Glam Squad and Asaki, and we had like that panel of just talking about some of the issues
Mm-hmm.
as not just Native women, Native business owners, educated women trying to come back as close back to home as we could, because Native Glam
Yeah.
Squads in Flagstaff, and Asaki, she had to go off the reservation to make her first storefront, and just trying to get as close as we could to be successful in
Mm-hmm.
our businesses. Like a really interesting topic, and really, I think
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite topics. And it was so much fun to get my hair done and makeup done.
Yeah, that was so much fun. Let's see. I think like my favorite videos to make were definitely vlogs. I love making vlogs. I had a really good time like when we were I keep thinking about when we were talking with I think it was his name was Terry. He's like the gardener,
Mm-hmm.
and we were talking about, just like anytime we were interviewing somebody, I felt like that was really fun. I felt like we learned so much from them and we're able to kind of like deviate and talk about things we normally don't talk about one on one. But like, um, yeah, the collaboration at Northern AZ Glam Squad with Iseki was really really cool. I'm trying to like, yeah, I had something like at the top of mine and then it just slipped away. But yeah,
There's an argument happening in the comment section right now. Um,
really
well, because
share.
if you comment enough, you get like a little number one on your screen. And Brady came on, and he came to a part where he realized we weren't doing the thing anymore, and he
Oh.
was like, "Number one fan here, don't forget me. Thank you for always asking me to be on your show." And then Epic Candy's like, "I'm the number one fan." And then Brady's like, "I've been coming to every one of their lives. Showing up on the last live doesn't count." It's like,
He
oh
knows. He knows.
no.
Like, dude, we know Brady's cleanse. Just kidding.
I don't think we do, but
No, we don't. Oh my goodness.
yeah, so it's just funny to see in the chat while you're trying to have this serious conversation. Like, it's nice to see people in our chat for once having conversations with each other.
Yeah, I know. I know.
We
I'm
should threaten to
sad.
quit
Oh.
every week. No, I'm just kidding.
Every 2 weeks, okay, we're just kidding. We're back. We're gonna quit next week. Eh? Do you have any last words? Or do you want to tell us who you want to tell us who you voted for? Just
Oh
kidding.
well, at the end, I kind of wanted to just go over the primary results because I know that's something
Really?
you like
Ooh,
talking about, and I have it pulled
yes, I
up
do.
already. So sadly, the person I voted for Navajo president didn't make it. He was number 5. These are unofficial results. I couldn't find official results.
Oh. Mhm.
Andrew Curley.
Mhm.
I think when I like last live we talked. I told you I vote based on vibes. Um,
Mhm.
and I don't know. He just. I remember when people complain about the like recent candidates or all the politicians. Like, well, how come we don't vote for people who are educated, doctors, people with degrees? And then we have
Mhm.
someone with a doctorate degree and everything. And I'm like, this is exactly what everyone's been saying they wanted, but then they
Mhm.
didn't. Well, like he got 6.89% unofficially of the votes.
Mhm.
So that was something.
Yeah, I saw Andrew on election day. My daughter and I, we went back to Tuba to vote, and he was so all the candidates were kind of set up on the east side of the chapter house. So I saw him and Nanaba, that's his partner, and we were talking, and I was like, "Oh my God, you might be the next Navajo, like the first lady of the Navajo Nation." She's like, "Oh my God, I like haven't even let my mind go there yet." I'm like, "Who are you gonna let dress you?" I'm like, "You gotta call up all the like Navajo designers," and she's like, "Oh my God," it was funny. But yeah, it was cool to see them. And then we went to go say hi, but he was streaming at the time, so we just like waved. And if you do like go back to that stream where he was like in Tuba City, you'll probably see him go, "Oh, hey," and then he waved at us. So yeah, we interacted a little bit. And then we went around to the others and said hi to the folks I know, because I know Chris Beecher he's also from Tuba City, and he was like he's currently, I think, chief of staff, but he used to be like in this cool band called the Cremines with his now wife. And they were both in the band. So she was Cremona Cremine, and they were freaking awesome. So I was telling my daughter about that. She's like, "He was in a band." I'm like, "Yeah, dude, they were so cool." So yeah, we said hi, and then we saw Otto So set up. He's our council delegate out there. I was going to introduce my daughter, but then he was busy. You know, everyone was busy talking to other people, so we just kind of walked on and waved at people. So yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people I know who voted for Ethel Branch last time like they are very vocal about voting for Andrew Curley. So I can see where their values are.
Yeah. And then I guess for
Hmm.
the winners, Justin Jones got 31.04% of unofficial votes, and
Hmm.
Crystalline Curley got 17.4% of unofficial votes. So those are the two candidates moving forward.
Hmm. Crystal and Curly. Yeah.
The current Speaker of the House, I think.
Hmm. Yeah, I believe so. So yeah, are you surprised that President Nygren didn't get more votes?
No, not with the way I've been hearing people talk about him.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
and yeah, like there's just been not almost, it's not always negative, but it's like, where is he?
Mm.
And then other, like the way some people talk about how some of the election staff were treating some people during some of the forums, like being very
Mhm.
forceful and rude.
Oh no.
That was just one of the stories I heard. It was just like people were walking by trying to, and then the people were giving out stickers and like, oh no, I don't want one, no thank you. And
Mhm.
like they just shove it in their face and like force
What
them
the
into,
heck, really?
yeah.
Ew. Gross. Uh yeah, I've only heard bad things about the whole cabinet. Unfortunately, like I know people who were working for the administration for the past few years, and everything they've said was like it's stressful, it's trauma, there's no stability, and there's a lot of threats that occur internally that was really like it was causing so much instability that people were not able to actually do their jobs effectively because of that. And so it sounded like a mess, and I was like, well, I do not envy you, but I will send my best thoughts and prayers to you, because it sounds like you're under a lot of stress. And it's like, what a freaking honor, right? To work for your nation and to be chosen to lead and to be chosen to act as a guide for the workforce, the staff, the legislators, the like the movers and shakers, you know, to support programs that really benefit the people, but to work in conditions where it makes it so difficult just to show up every day, that's like really unfortunate.
Hmm.
So I'm not surprised either, considering everything that I've heard from people. But I did choose those five candidates as my top five because I've been like tracking a little bit, like, and I was kind of making my own assumptions about who the top five would be, and those are the top five. I knew, I don't know, I had a strong feeling that those are the five that were going to proceed. So I was like, cool. I was actually really excited. I was like, oh, yeah, I was right.
I think
um,
I watched the Change Labs forum of the thing,
oh yeah,
of
me too.
presidential
Hmm.
forums online, and
Hmm.
one person I liked hearing answer the questions was Emily Ellenson.
Me
She was
too.
just
I love
throwing shade at every question,
yes,
and I'm like, "You're
dude,
my." I
fearless.
love the pettiness.
Me
It
too.
was
I
so
loved it. I was
refreshing.
like, you go, girl. You tell him. I loved it. She did not hold back. And I was like, that's what people need to hear. You just got to be honest sometimes and blunt.
Hmm.
I know. I was surprised that something that was pointed out to me by one of the groups from one of the campaigns. Uh, they were you know how the campaigns usually have like a text thread and people are all talking about whatever. Anyways, so I contacted a couple of my friends because I didn't know where to watch it. I didn't know where to track the results as they were coming in, and I was driving back from Tuba, so I couldn't. I was like, where do I get this information? So I wrote to a couple people, and they kind of added me to the conversation, and they were shocked that Myron Lizer got more votes than Emily Ellison, which was like they were like, why? She's cool, and he's not. uh, I know, but I don't know. But I know that like it was pointed out that his region is really heavy on resource extraction, and his region is also heavily, heavily Christian, and that's kind of his whole thing. So it makes sense that people in that area would support him. Apparently, 2,665 voters. So we have 5.5% of the population that are diehard, like let's mine, let's pull our resources, let's deplete all of our resources, let's give our rights away, which is so disappointing. Just kidding. I get frustrated. But one of the candidates that I thought was interesting is from the forum, the Change Labs forum, was Alexander Chambers. So I met him maybe 10 years ago, and he was someone who bought my husband's book, and we kept in contact over the years. He was one of the people I met the first time I went to Res, and I like rounded up a whole group of people to go on the roller coaster at New York, and he was one of them. And he's like really cool. But I was really surprised when I saw that he was running for president. I was also like surprised at his approach. I'm not like surprised because of who he is, but just like his methods. But I really loved his performance at the forum. He was like really like a strong speaker. He balanced the Navajo language and the English language beautifully, and he was really upfront and bold. But I think it's because he's kind of not as known as some of the others, and also doesn't hold the same credentials as some of the top five. You know what I mean? So familiarity goes a long, long way in any of these presidential races. So, but I thought he did a good job. Yeah.
Alexander Chambers is he was the Marine, right? The younger Marine? No,
No.
kind of. I know. I remember there's one person who was like really loud and boisterous. I don't know if that was him.
Mm-hmm.
I'm horrible
I
at
think
names.
so.
And
Yeah. So Alexander, I remember he launched the that newspaper out in Farmington. He does economic development consulting. I think he sits on some advisories, and yeah, I don't know. He's cool. He's one of the people that I got to know as I was coming up when we were building Nabin. Um, I got introduced to a lot of people who were kind of like the rising stars, kind of like like you kind of get to know who's doing what, who's doing something innovative, who's doing something new, and he was one of the people that I was made aware of and kept in contact with, just because at the time, we were like all in our 20s, but we all had these big ideas and we wanted to see this network grow and thrive. And so definitely someone who's been like supportive in the background, who was a part of who contributed thoughts and feedback as we were building things out. And so I like to kind of point that out to people because, big changes don't happen by handfuls of people. It happens when a lot of people come together. And when you pull together groups of people that are innovative and smart and fearless and ready to try, not just talk about it, but actually put things into practice. And I have a lot of respect for people that do that. It's really all about doing what you can. And, our main focus was always social entrepreneurship. So, for the good of the people, the good of the economy, not taking the easy route and focusing on like mining. You know what I mean? Like, I just feel like that's such an easy thing to do. It's like, yeah, I'm going to sell out my people and we'll make money. But it's like the way that the agreements are written, they're so lopsided. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? Like, if we're going to go into agreements like that, we need to be asking for more. Like, we should not be getting like 10 cents out of every $100. Like, we should be getting 75%. You know what I mean? Like, we should be making the profit. Our people should be benefiting. But it's always so backward. And I don't know why some people who are on that panel who are very like very very upfront and open about how they would open up mining and they would open up resource extraction to the outside at the drop of a hat, and that's what they know, that would work. But because it worked for a number of years, like our whole, like literally our economy was like 75% of our economy was based on coal mining for
Right.
many many years up until 2019. So when the coal mines they closed, it put us in a place where we had to do something different. And so we're still dealing with that. It hasn't even been 10 years. So anyways, conversation for another time.
Yeah. So Brady chatting, he said he went to the Crystalline's Father's Day cookout.
Oh, cool.
He
Hmm.
voted for Curly. He said, what about GYCD? I think,
It's grade your council delegate.
is it? Okay.
Yeah, that's what it stands for on Facebook.
Okay. I thought it was like
It's a group.
some influencer person because they were always talking bad about like Justin Jones.
Like everybody, jeez. Just kidding. Just a hater. GYCD Navajo. I know, dude. They're like dragging everybody, including your candidate, Kelsey.
My
I
candidate.
know.
Okay.
Like, and others. Yeah, like so many others right here. Ew, y'all. An opinion driven social media platform for the Diné community and their supporters. This platform serves as a space for open discussions about the daily lives, challenges, and aspirations of the Diné people, both on and off the res. It's literally all just Diné, though.
Hmm.
Just saying.
And then he's like, "Did you see the meme of Justin Jones campaign rally? I think it was the one where like he was telling people to just shut up and move on."
Oh, was it telling people? That whole thing got taken out of context.
That's what you do with memes. You take things that I think like yeah.
Yeah.
Every time someone was like, "I don't want to say something," he might tell me to just shut up.
Well, some people need to be told. I'm just kidding.
And then he said Emily has like this is like her fourth time running. She still doesn't get all the votes. And then Andrew Curley
Yeah.
he said he has the perfect resume, but he was kind of rambling and he lost some of his points, kind of
Mhm.
wavered off.
Mhm. Mhm. Yep, I agree. Frankie Diaz Jr. This is also his second run. He ran last time also, and Debbie Nez Manuel. She also, this is her. She ran again. She ran during the last election, and yeah, a few others like I don't even know Donovan Begay or Kevin L. Cody. Those are kind of like, and Johnny Russell, the bottom three. I like never seen them before or heard of them, so that's probably why they didn't get a lot of votes. So yeah.
I wish it
Oh
wouldn't be like
well.
just the top two. I think like the top four would be a really good
Mhm.
pool.
It'd be interesting.
Not like saying these four candidates, but like if it was just the top four and
Mhm.
then you had to pick from those four
Mhm.
instead of just the two, because the two could win
Mhm.
and you could still be like objectively opposing to both.
Mhm. Yeah, like our last federal election, you know what I mean? I felt like that was so polarizing and it put like the Democratic Party in a really tight spot because they had somebody running that a large majority of their own party didn't feel was ready for the job, which was like, come on, you guys, got to do better. But I don't know. Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah, I'm
and
talking about like Trump Biden. That's what I'm talking about.
like everyone's like, we gotta pick the
Yeah.
lesser of two evils. Like, can I just write someone's name in? Can we do that?
Mhm.
Can we not have lesser of two evils? Can we find someone not evil, please?
Mhm. Yeah, I agree. So those are really interesting results. I'm excited though about to kind of see how things proceed, to see how each candidate does moving forward. I'm really looking forward to the debates, and I'm also looking forward to seeing who the VP picks are going to be. So
Mm-hmm. I
yeah,
think
that's going to
that's
be
where I'll
interesting.
base my vote on is like if I liked the
Mhm.
because I don't know, listening to Justin Jones and Kristen and Curly talk, I just feel like they're both career politicians in a way. Like they know what to say and how to say it to make it sound like they're better than they were. I don't know.
I
That's
mean,
just how
I
I feel.
feel like definitely Crystalline, she's already kind of gone through political races to get the position she's currently at. She ran as a council delegate, so she understands the game. Um, but she also like was a pageant queen, you know what I mean? She's like a former Miss Navajo, so she knows how to present herself. And so, yeah, she has that skill set. She knows what to say to get the people in her favor. You know what I mean? She knows how to use the tools she has in her toolkit to get an advantage. So, and she's obviously shown to be effective because she beat out our current president, Tom Chi, and apparently the most highly qualified person, Andrew Curley, as far as like brains and academics are concerned and, education. So it's like she beat all of them. So it's interesting. Um, Justin Jones, I think I've seen him speak. The first time I saw him speak was at the Diné Chamber of Commerce. He was speaking at an event there. Incredible speaker. I think that I don't think he tells you what you want to hear. I think he tells you what you need to hear. You know, he speaks from the heart and he's telling you the truth, and I think people don't like that. You know what I mean? He definitely uses like the Hashkeja, way, and that's who he is, and that's what he's utilizing. But I think people are trying to paint him into this box, like that's all he is. They're not they're not trying to see or pay attention to the other side, which is very, very Hajong. You know what I mean? And I only know this because I am biased because I know he and his family personally, and they're freaking awesome. Like, I know his mom and his dad. I know how connected they are, like how well they take care of their whole family, their children, not just Justin, but he and his sisters, how united they are as a family and how they support one another, but also how their children are very supportive. Like, I sat in a hogan with their family, and all their kids were there, and all of them were like really focused on you know, doing their part and contributing to the balance, the wellness of our people, and you know, stepping up to be disciplined, so kind, so respectful, so gracious, knowing how to pray, knowing how to sing, taking care of their grandparents, you know what I mean, taking I don't see families like that very often, you know what I mean. When
Mhm.
I met them, I was just in awe. I was really in awe of Justin's mom. I had a conversation with her, like, how did you do this? You know, like, this is what I aspire to. And she just schooled me, you know, this is how, this is what I did. This is what we did. And your path might be different, but this is what worked for us. And I was like, dope, you know? So I am biased in my opinion of Justin Jones. I like him as a person. He's really funny. He's really gracious. He's a big supporter of um, my family, our children, their education, their paths forward. You know, he talks to my sons in that way that they need to be talked to as young men, as a guide. Keeps my husband in line. Just kidding. But you know, just I also know him in the ceremonial space too. During the pandemic, he was one of the people, and he didn't publicize this. He never talks about what he's done, what he does behind the scenes, but he's been one of the people who've stepped up to protect our people since the very, like, anytime we are at risk where there's a threat, and at the time the threat was COVID, like, he was there, you know what I mean, singing and praying and like there to provide offerings for our protection so that we would survive, so that we would live through this. And he doesn't talk about that. I don't see him out there boasting about what he's done, but I know what he's done because I was there too. You know, we were there with a bunch of leaders, and it was amazing. You know, a lot of things that get done to keep things in balance are done in private. And it's really amazing to see who shows up and who goes through that process to sing and pray and keep things in balance, not just for themselves, but for the whole of our people. So definitely I have a bias there. I definitely have a bias too when it comes to like the other candidates, you know, knowing them. Like, I've known Boo for years. You know what I mean? I met him when he was just a young buck. I met he and his wife when they were still dating. And you know, he was someone that was up and coming. And this is before he even stepped into politics. You know, he was just a young dude, a fresh face with big dreams, a hard worker. And to see the evolution of what he has accomplished, but then also what he became, you know, it's like, it's really jarring.
Mhm.
um I feel like people got their hooks into him. Crystal and Curly, I was tracking her journey when she was Miss Navajo, but I've also, like, from people who've worked with her personally, I've heard some things that I don't like. So I'm kind of like, you know, it's kind of like that with everybody. We're kind of hearing everybody's drama coming out.
Mhm.
So there's that. But kind of seeing the present day, like what's happening today, this year and last year, what bad decisions were made recently that have cost the people greatly. That's kind of something I'm taking into account. It's like, what have you done in the recent, you know, in the past 5 years? You know what I mean? Like, have you done good or have you done bad? You know, that's kind of what I'm gauging things on. Um, Andrew, I've known Andrew for a long time. I've got some tea about that, but I'm not going to spill it here. But anyone who's worked at Dina College knows about his time there and all of that. But he's also cool, you know. We would run into he and Anaba at like Swaya, at parades, and you know, he's taking photos. He's just like a cool, funny guy. A lot of my friends are really good friends with him and big supporters of him as a person, you know, and also as a candidate. And like we'd run into them at concerts too. We ran into them when we went to from Boston to Berkeley to see Rancid and the Dropkick Murphys, and he and Nanaba were there. So I know he's cool. I know a lot of his friends, the people that work at DPI, because my husband, he's one of the people that came through DPI also. So is Crystal and Curly. She was also an intern there a long time ago. Myron, of course, I remember everything that he did during his time as VP, and that's why I would never vote for him.
I
I
just
already
know
talked about Alexander
everyone.
Hughes. I've been in a lot of these circles for a long time, like my journey started in 2012, like when I really started to take my life seriously and when I made a commitment to our people and to
Mhm.
myself and to my family and decided, hey, I got to get it together. I got to stop messing around and really focus. What am I going to be remembered for? And so my work is what brought me into these spaces. I don't seek these people. I don't seek people out. I just get introduced to them over the years, and I end up in places with people that are really like on a similar journey. You know, and I actually knew Nanaba, Andrew's wife, before I met him. She was one of the people that were a part of the early NABIN conversations. And I've been a big supporter of her business, Not Above, for a long time. So she's an amazing artist. She's going to be at Swaya this year. So if you want some really cool, beautiful jewelry, check it out. She's cool. Her artwork is awesome. So yeah, I mean, that's why I love this. I think it's really cool to actually see people I know personally on the ballots and
Mhm.
see people I know of on the ballots. It makes it more interesting, right? Because it's like these are our relatives, these are people that are trying, and whether they're doing it for good, bad, or ugly, I really do respect the initiative, even if it's someone who's advocating for resource extraction. Just because I wouldn't do that personally, and that's not my path, I still respect these people for stepping up. It's not easy to put yourself out there. It's not easy to take the call to be a leader, because some of these people, they're not, some of them are probably like pushing themselves forward, but there's some of them too that their communities and families are pushing them forward. There's other leaders that believe they have what it takes to take on this job. And so I do respect that, because it takes a lot of bravery. It takes a whole community of people to pull off a campaign, too. I worked during the last campaign, and it was hard. It was one of the toughest journeys I've ever been on. And it's one that I don't really talk about in public. But I was a campaign manager for a campaign last season, like the last time
Mhm.
we had an election, and we only made it to the primaries. We didn't make it to the general. So, but leading the team and doing the work was eye opening. Tribal politics is no joke. So, I have a lot of respect for all these people.
So
And
what's
my
some
lighting's going.
I don't know, it's like you're getting darker and darker. I can't
I
see.
know. Sorry. The sun's going down.
Yeah. So some more comments saying since this is our
What are they
last
saying?
live, we should go until 10.
Ah!
I don't think my internet will last that long. My 9-year-old's definitely waiting for me to be done so she can start watching her YouTube again. Um, I
Just
have to
say no.
I have to
Ew.
kick them all out of the house so that they don't have to be on their devices when we do these, so they have to like go away for a while. Um,
Hmm.
and then Epic Candy was asking how we can stay connected with us.
Mm.
So I have my business channel, Happy Accidents Media Production, here on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. I also have a personal Instagram, which isn't private, so it's linked to all of the Navajo Tea Time, or most of the Navajo Tea Time channels. Um, and like I said, I'll be posting definitely the home site lease vlog on my personal Instagram and my Happy Accidents YouTube shorts. Um, Adrian is contemplating doing a podcast on more of her
Mm-hmm.
topics, but we'll see. Like we mentioned,
Yeah, we'll
like she
see.
mentioned earlier, she has a role, a job that requires her to not be as public and to be neutral for a little while. So I don't know if
Which
she's.
I failed at during this live stream, unfortunately. But
Well, we didn't talk about the other part. We just talked about, presidential election. I think everyone's allowed to have an opinion and voice their opinion. I feel like,
hmm I
no
think we
matter
have to.
what your job, like even if you're like a council delegate or you work within the government, you should still be allowed to have an opinion and be able to
hmm
answer when asked, who do you think this person, like, of like the
hmm
candidates and everything, because it affects everyone equally.
hmm Yeah, I think so too. I mean, it's our right. We fought for these rights. So many of our ancestors died for these rights. We may as well execute them, you know? Um, I think it's such a privilege to vote. And so, just so you know, you can register to vote for the general election in August. I think it opens August 5th or 3rd. So, if you're not registered now, go register. Um, Register to vote, and you can vote during the general election in November. So, like, please, if you want to stay connected, you want to stay cool with me, register to vote. I want to see those like I voted stickers. But yeah, my pay. So, Yawaka Knowledge Distribution is my company, and our YouTube channel, Instagram, and Facebook are currently asleep right now. And the reason why is because I kind of put the business down a little bit this like in May. So I'm not taking any contracts, but now that I'm kind of like thinking of maybe continuing to create content, if I do, it's probably going to be there just because it does fall in line with our mission, right? Like our whole thing is knowledge dissemination. And, our work is to provide consultation services, research services on a various number of topics, but mostly related to like sovereignty, politics, international relations, philanthropy, visibility, like related to like marketing and things like that. So um and of course, like there are we have gotten, like my husband and I, who we run the company, we've been published in various places. My husband has 2 books out, he's working on a third, and we've been published together. And I have all that serious stuff on LinkedIn. My LinkedIn account is currently like also quiet. But I think I'm gonna revive things. I'm really considering it. I kind of just wanted to put social media down for a while just because I wanted to fly under the radar. I wanted to disappear for a while. And it wasn't until I was at the Native Power Building Summit last week, Kelsey literally was like, just just reactivate your Instagram. That way I can send you memes. I didn't even put up a fight. I was like, okay.
So, do
Like
you
we're
dare me?
literally
Do you dare me to do it? I'll do it if you dare me. I was like, yeah, I dare you. Do
we were
it.
we were still at the dinner table when I activated it. All I needed was like the tiniest little baby push.
It was the
So
breakfast table. It
it
wasn't
was the
even the end
breakfast
of the
table.
day. It was the beginning of the day.
I know. I know. It was just the easiest thing for me to do. So that's what happened. So I'm considering it. I'm gonna take some time to think about it. If I do, I'll probably record first, curate it. Do it kind of the way I want to do it. Try to do something cool visually, and I hope you like it if it's there. But in the meantime, I strongly suggest everybody follow Kelsey. Happy Accidents Media Productions. That's her company, and they're on all the platforms. They have a website that's live, and I would go check it out.
Oh, we don't have a
And
website anymore.
oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
never
just
mind. Sorry.
with like the way
Yeah.
social media platforms are, is like everything just needed to be there because you can
Yeah.
like link merch and all the everything else through a social
Mm-hmm.
media. Like, why do we even
Are
have
you on
the
TikTok?
website? No.
Okay.
I know I should
Should I
probably
become
be
a
on TikTok.
TikToker?
We should just like yap at the camera for like 3 minutes and then okay, bye.
I know.
You
Dude,
couldn't.
I'll just be one of those people that like talk for hours about whatever. Have you seen like those streamers? Apparently they're addictive and apparently they do well, but I don't know. Like it almost looks like they don't even try, but I don't know. I'm really judgmental. So anyways, I'm sorry. I'm sorry all you streamers and I'm sorry TikTokers.
Brady said July 1st. It opens on July 31st.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
And then, are we still going to be friends? Were we ever friends? Yes.
I think we started out as we partnered to, so Kelsey was the filmographer for a project I was doing where back when Nabin was launching, we had a cohort, our first cohort of businesses. We had 10 different native owned businesses, and a part of what the service we provided was promotion, and a piece of that was developing um, film, like a short video, a promotional video for them. So they would have some content for their website and for social media. And so Kelsey was hired to do that. And so that's how we got to know each other, sort of like we kind of started to work together. I know, like we tell the story about having an art class at NAU. Yes, that was the original. And then there was
No,
Rockabilly Royale.
the Rockabilly.
And
I think
then,
that's when we
yeah,
became connected. But then
yeah.
years later, you're like, oh, hey, you doing film? I'm like, yeah, I guess. Yes.
I know. Whenever I meet someone I like and they do good work, I always want to hire them. And Kelsey's one of the people that I kind of got my little hooks in. I was like, get over here. I'm going to give you a job. You seem cool. But I think, like, I would definitely consider you a friend
Yeah, for
because
sure.
when I tell you the truth and you've helped me get through some of the hardest times that I've encountered recently. And I love you dearly, Kelsey. I really do. You're an amazing person. You're a good person, and you're really strong. And you know, I really appreciate your realness because you don't lie to me. Like you just tell me straight up, and I need that. I don't need someone to tell me it's okay. I need Kelsey to tell me like, yeah, this sucks, and I know you're not okay, but that's what happens sometimes. Things fall apart and bad people are real, and and it's just like to me that is refreshing. I need someone to just be freaking honest with me. You know what I mean? And yeah, like you've helped me. Like I remember the thing that was really profound was when you pointed out that I was afraid to be vulnerable and I was afraid to be perceived as weak in a specific situation. Like to admit it, for me to admit it, that I was scared, that I felt vulnerable, that I was in a situation that I could not control, I could not think my way out of. And that was something that I was not ready to confront. But when Kelsey said that, like it was like a freaking, like an arrow being shot right into the bullseye. And that's what propelled me forward, you know, because she just saw right through it. And I needed that. And I'm really grateful for that. And you've always been that for me, Kelsey. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know if I've ever mentioned this on this stream, but I'm a Capricorn in 7 different placements of my birth chart. So, like, honestly, obviously, but like me for friends, if I'm not your friend, I don't interact with you at all. And so, Adrian, I've let her into my life. She's seen me create 2 children. She's been in my daughter's life since she was 2. You've bought me a coffee maker. That's a love letter right there. Um, so yeah, of course we're friends. We'll stay friends. I think of you every time I use my Nespresso. Adrian got me this.
I know. You deserve to be spoiled with cool kitchen gadgets.
So yeah, we'll still
Yeah.
be friends. Like we said before, like maybe we'll create a video or two here and there. Maybe if we come across like a very important or powerful MMIW case that we want to cover, we'll reactivate the Silence They Left
Mm-hmm.
series. You know, it's just we're not going to be doing this full time, part time. You know, it's going to be every once in a while. We'll have a video come out. It won't be this year, but we're still a part of the same kind of networking too, like entrepreneurships, um, different
Mm-hmm.
spheres of that. So we'll definitely run into each other, hang out with each other, probably here and there. So yeah, that's kind of the end of. I think
Mm-hmm.
we've gone over by 30 minutes, Brady. It's not 10 p.m., but I think this is kind of my internet keeps going in and out, and I can see it on the uploading of the stream. So kind of an hour, 30 minutes, hour, 40 minutes streaming. This is the longest stream we've done. So
Yep. But yeah,
got
I
one
guess.
more comment real quick.
Okay.
Brady said he's graduating with his bachelor's in political science with a minor in
Woo!
business management and philosophy. Wanted to invite us a bit.
Please do. Please do.
I'll try and
That'd be
make it.
awesome.
Um,
I'll kidnap her, Brady. I'll hog tie her and bring her out.
that's exciting. I'm glad that you are getting that. That's awesome. Political science and
Mm-hmm. I know. I remember he wanted to debate me.
yes, it'll
I
be on your
feel like
podcast.
I know Brady. I might need to. We might need to share contact information because I would love that. I mean, it'd be fun.
All right, everyone. Thanks. Hagona. Good night.
Yeah. Thanks, everyone.
Nothing's gonna happen to the channel right away. It might be in the next couple of months. Maybe some videos will go unlisted or quiet or something. But our social medias will probably definitely be dead.
Yeah. Yeah. No. For sure. I mean, we usually take a break in August anyway, because that's my birth month. Kelsey always takes a break in January because that's her birth month. And what I'm doing isn't going to be completed until the end of January anyway. So I'm definitely not going to be doing anything until then. So it'll be like a new year, new me kind of situation. So
She's gonna burst out like Cusco's
I
from
know.
boom, did it.
Or for the older generation, like the Kool-Aid man.
All right, thanks everyone. I don't know what the newest one is, so
I know. Well, thanks everyone though for all your support. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. And dang, it's been a ride. And I'm so thankful for you guys who've been there
I'm glad we
and
could
joined us on this
do this last
journey.
live, I think.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, me
Alrighty.
too. It's cathartic.
Bye
All right. Good
everyone.
night,
Good night.
everyone. Take care. Love you. Hagona. Bye.